This story is an original work based on a true incident from my own life. All narration, writing, and presentation belong solely to me, the creator and owner of the NarratoX channel. Any unauthorized copying, reproduction, or redistribution of this story, in full or in part, is strictly prohibited and may lead to legal action. Enjoy the story and happy listening. They told me don't step outside after dark. They never told me why. I wish they had. Because that one rainy night, I did. And what I found waiting for me in the darkness changed the way I look at the wild forever. Back then, I was living in the middle of an old national forest in North Bengal, a place so remote that at night you could hear the forest breathe. I worked as a project biologist, studying wildlife, living among them, sometimes too close for comfort. My home was an ancient forest quarter, probably built by the British. It was beautiful in its own eerie way. High ceilings, cracked walls, a wooden front door that creaked like it had secrets of its own. In front of it, a big lawn, half wild, grass swaying when the wind howled at night. And right at the end of that lawn, the forest began. Dense, dark, a wall of ancient trees, roots, and secrets. Separating my lonely little house from that endless wilderness was an old electric fence. But everyone knew it hadn't worked in years. When I first moved in, my seniors, older forest men hardened by the wild, had just one piece of advice for me. Don't step outside after 8:30 at night. No explanations, just a faint smile, a pat on the back. You'll be fine. And for weeks, I was fine. Days passed in a quiet, predictable rhythm, trekking in the forest, making notes, returning home covered in mud and sweat, cooking my own food. Nights were long, sometimes peaceful, sometimes so silent that you could hear twigs crack far away and wonder if you were really alone. But nothing ever happened, so I stopped thinking about that rule. Then came that night. It was monsoon season, the kind of rain that turns the air heavy and the ground into a swamp. By evening, I was soaked, exhausted from a long day outside. I got back to my quarter shivering, changed clothes, made tea, planned to cook, but the sound of the rain, the chill in the air, the steady drumming on the tin roof, it lulled me into a deep, heavy sleep. When I woke up, the room was pitch black. The clock showed 10 p.m. My stomach twisted with hunger. I hadn't eaten a bite since afternoon. The only place I could get food was a small roadside dhaba, 10 minutes away. Hot rice, spicy curry, a cup of strong tea. I could almost taste it. I told myself, it's just one night. What could possibly go wrong? So I grabbed my torch, slipped the house keys into my pocket, locked the door, and stepped out. The rain had slowed to a drizzle, but the forest road was still soaked, the trees dripping, leaves shimmering under my torchlight. I could hear frogs croaking, an owl calling somewhere deep inside the canopy. By the time I reached the dhaba, the owner gave me a look, half surprised, half worried. "Late night, huh?" he asked. I just laughed it off. I ate like a king. The food tasted better than ever. Maybe because somewhere deep down, I knew I wasn't supposed to be there. By the time I headed back, it was almost 11 p.m. The road felt quieter. The forest felt different, as if something was awake now that hadn't been before. When I reached my quarter, I closed the main gate behind me, keys and torch in hand. The wet grass brushed against my legs as I walked towards the door. I don't know what made me stop. Maybe it was instinct. Maybe it was the hair on my neck standing up. Maybe it was the feeling that I wasn't alone. I slowly lifted my torch and swept it across the lawn, the beam cutting through the misty drizzle, lighting up the swaying grass. And then I saw it. 2 eyes, glowing gold, locked onto mine. A shape, low, powerful, perfectly still, like a shadow carved out of the earth. I froze. The keys slipped in my sweaty palm. The animal didn't move, it just watched me, like it was deciding something. My heart slammed against my ribs. All the doors were locked. I was standing in the open, just me, my torch, and something that didn't belong in the world of walls and keys. Very slowly, I bit down on the torch to free my hands. My breath fogged up the cold beam of light. I forced my shaking fingers to find the keyhole behind me. The sound of metal scratching on metal felt louder than the rain. The creature didn't flinch. Its eyes flicked once, its tail curled. Click. The lock turned. The door swung open. I stepped inside and slammed it shut, bolting it twice over. I peeked through a slit in the curtain and saw it. Still there, pacing the front yard like it owned the night, a leopard, wild, silent, perfect. It brushed against the old gate, sniffed the wooden frame, then disappeared back into the blackness it came from. They called the forest guards. They came with sticks and torches, muttering under their breath. They found fresh pug marks near the broken fence, and behind my quarter, a half-eaten stray dog. Dinner was done. I guess I was next on the menu. That night, alone behind locked doors, I finally understood what my seniors meant when they said, "Don't go out after dark." In the forest, the rules are not yours to break. I still remember those eyes, gleaming in my torchlight, a silent reminder that out here, you're never really alone.